Peter, here we are, round 7 of the GRENKE Chess Classic has just concluded. It was another interesting day. It started out rather slowly, but then we got to this position in the clash of the day between the two leaders, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave and Fabiano Caruana. Maxime was probably caught out in the opening, and I'll let you take over and show us what happened in the game.
Yeah, now we see the position after black had given queen c5 check, and the white king had to move to the corner with king h1, and we already see that white's position is in big danger. Black has all kinds of tactical possibilities. Fabiano had a choice here between two moves. He was calculating very heavily. Finally he chose to play bishop d5, which was also our main candidate. However, there was one possibility already to go for the forced lines with bishop takes f3 check. So bishop sacrifice, breaking up the white king side, e takes f3, queen f2, the key move. Now black is simply threatening to enter with rook e2, and there will be no defense on the second rank. So the only way for white is to hang on with bishop g2. This is probably the line both players calculated, and it seemed to continue with rook e2. Rook g1, white is just in time to protect the king. However, black takes the bishop. Black is pawn up and has the better position. However, surprisingly, there is a very unpleasant move, queen b5, putting some pin, and after the retreat of queen to c5, white has all of a sudden the f4 move opening up the bishop diagonal, and this is the reason why Fabiano did not want to play bishop takes f3, because he was already hoping for more. However, there is an incredible surprise in this position, because it looks like it's all about the mating attack on the second rank, but computer showed this incredible silent quiet move, rook d8, pinning the bishop, and now black is threatening to go rook e2, and white has no way to removing the bishop because of the second rank ping. So the threat is rook e2, and white has nothing better than to play rook f1 immediately, and after queen takes d2, now it's a technically winning position for black. But once you get carried away with all kinds of attacking possibilities, to find or to spot rook d8, because the question is to spot it, then yeah, black could have probably won the game faster. However, Fabiano's problem was, or the pleasant problem, that he had another lovely choice, the move which he played with bishop d5, and now rook takes e2 is a devastating threat. So it seems like white should play e2, e4, after which black has the wonderful rook takes e4, rook sacrifice, and if white takes the rook with f takes e4, and then after bishop takes e4 check, bishop g2, bishop takes g2 check, king takes g2, rook e2 check, the king cannot escape. After king h3, queen f5 check, g4, queen f3 is checkmate, and if after rook e2 check white goes back to the corner with king h1, then just queen d5 and queen g2 checkmate. So this was probably also the reason why Caruana thought that, okay, why should he take on f3? He wants to sacrifice the rook, but okay, the opening phase was a huge disaster for Maxime, so he was trying to put up as much resistance as possible, and he came up with a wonderful defensive idea with bishop e1, protecting the second rank, the e2 pawn with the bishop. It doesn't really seem to lead anywhere, because after bishop c4, pinning the pawn and putting pressure on the e2 pawn, looks like white is completely paralyzed. However, Maxime played a wonderful move here, e2, e4 now, leaving the bishop m3 with bishop takes f1, but now we see the point that white suddenly gets the tempo with bishop f2, attacking the queen on c5. So black has to move queen c4, rook takes f1, and now black is almost out of trouble, but the problem is that the pawn on a4 is simply hanging. Black took queen takes a4, black is pawn up, and black has the better structure. If the white pawn would be on g2, white could be hoping for compensation, but with pawn on g3 and with the constant threat of g5, g4 breaking the king side, white didn't really have any surviving chances, and finally Fabiano converted his advantage very, very smoothly.
So that was the first black win of the day. It was a very good day for the players with the black pieces. The second win of the day came from world champion Magnus Carlsen. After many draws, he was only on +1. He finally scored a second win against Arkady Neidich. He opened up with the Najdorf, and what happened in that game?
Yeah, somehow I think that Arkady was not really expecting the Najdorf, and maybe he was psychologically not ready for this turn of events. It got a quite double-edged position, but a type of position which suited Magnus very, very much. And I think Neidich let himself provoked, because when Magnus went bishop g4 at some point and he played f3, also later Magnus in the press conference told us that he was surprised by f3, after which black is maybe objectively not better, but definitely has the more easy play. And in Magnus' hands somehow maybe he could have played even better. Magnus was claiming that he was not so happy with his play. However, by looking at it and the way we also analyzed it, we didn't see any mistake or any problem with his play. So I guess actually once he calms down and he quietly goes through the game, he might be even very proud of this game, because it was a good game. And Neidich never really got the chance, and finally after this knight d5 moves, I mean, there was a moment when Arkady played knight e3 to d5, black took with the bishop on d5, e d5, knight bd7, white did not block with knight e4 the center, played knight d1, and black got some e5, knight e4, e4, knight e5 very strong initiative, which Magnus was a little bit skeptical about later. He just said that the positional plan with bishop e7, bishop d8, bishop b6 would have been much more easy, but it looked good enough what he was doing, and Arkady was trying to coordinate his forces, but he never really managed, and Magnus won a good game.
Absolutely. A player who came also surprisingly very close to winning a black, what would have been a big upset, was Georg Meyer, who was playing none other than former world champion Vishy Anand. Vishy, who hasn't had the best of tournaments here, and he played an exchange sacrifice, which was interesting, but then things started going a bit wrong.
Yeah, it was very interesting, because I think at the beginning Meyer solved all his problems in the opening, and Vishy was probably a little bit frustrated about this. He wanted to keep chances. Finally they reached an endgame which should be kind of equal, and all of a sudden there was the chance of sacrificing the exchange, and Vishy went for it. He very much likes to sacrifice the exchange, and I think it was also a very interesting idea, because it was very hard to judge whether this is compensation to make a draw or maybe even for more. And but later on he just made one inaccuracy, and after this black was just in time to activate both of his rooks, and the white king became quite shaky, and later it was even not clear if he can manage to escape. But practically speaking, in a human game, I always felt that his chances with the powerful bishop and the strong pawns should be enough compensation. But against a computer probably it would have not been enough. But luckily we are not playing against the computers, so I think also Vishy absolutely deserved the draw, because after all, if he would have not taken the risk with the exchange sacrifice, he would have never ever had any problems. So the draw was a fair result.
Then one of the players, well, maybe one of the only players today who actually got an advantage with the white pieces was Levon Aronian. He was playing against Nikita Vityugov, who's had a very solid, very impressive performance here so far. Can you tell us what happened in that game?
Yeah, it was really interesting because there was a critical moment when Levon managed to play knight e5. And it was a very important moment because black could have taken the poisoned pawn on e2, but it led to some wild complications, and with a slightly unbalanced position. And everybody knows that Levon is extremely dangerous in such situation. So Nikita decided to play it safe, but by playing it safe, he gave the initiative to white. And afterwards, they reached the position which I thought that usually in the hands of Aronian it should be very, very unpleasant to play. But maybe Levon was too quickly too happy that he got what he was dreaming of, and he got a bit careless. At the same time, Vityugov took it very seriously. His nickname is Iceman, rightly so. He is extremely focused, and came up with some very, very good plan, doubling on the d file with the rooks, and he was just in time with rook d6, rook a8, queen b4, and then hitting white's queenside structure with a5, a4. And once he got all these moves in, then it was clear that white already cannot fight for advantage. He missed his opportunity earlier on, and Levon then decided to force the issues and kind of liquidated into some more or less drawish line where he was still hoping for something, but Vityugov was up to the task and prepared, calculated all the lines very precisely till the end, and then it was a forced draw in a rook endgame.
Absolutely, and that brings us to the final game of the day, a draw between Hu Yifan and Matthias Blübaum. Maybe the most balanced game of the day?
Yeah, it was quite balanced. Hu Yifan was trying to surprise Blübaum with exactly the same system that Najdic used a few days ago against Matthias. But this time Matthias was already very well prepared. And okay, there was a question that even in his move order, maybe white could have played h4 in the beginning, but those are the things that you play h4 if you are prepared. But in this move order, Hu Yifan was not prepared, and then she kind of played logical. And by playing logical, it seemed that maybe she will pose some problems. But there was this tactical shot, knight takes d4, which led to a lot of liquidation, after which practically the game was clearly always in the drawish margin. And maybe at some point black even overtook slightly the initiative, but then Hu Yifan played very accurately, and the draw was never in question.
Absolutely. So with 2 rounds to go, we now have a sole leader. It's Fabiano Caruana on 5 out of 7. He's trailed by Magnus Carlsen and Nikita Vityugov, who interestingly play each other tomorrow, and Fabiano is facing Levon Aronian, so that's another big games. What are your thoughts for tomorrow's big clashes?
Yeah, definitely these are two very big matchups. The Magnus Carlsen Nikita Vityugov game is very, very important for the tournament standing. Magnus is definitely very, very motivated now. He has won today the game, and he wants to win another one to catch up with Fabiano. Also the game Fabiano versus Levon Aronian is very, very special. At the candidates tournament, Fabiano managed to beat Levon twice. So in one sense, Fabiano is maybe thinking that this is the right moment to make Levon his client. On the other hand, Levon feels that now, okay, I gained back some confidence in this tournament already, and you have beaten me twice, so it's my turn. I'm looking forward to this game very, very much. And there is also Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, who is +1, but plays against 2 German players in the last 2 rounds. So if he could bounce back with 2 victories, he still also has chances to get to +3, and maybe +3 is enough to share first place. We shall see. In any case, still a lot of excitement ahead.
Yes, we are looking forward to tomorrow. But for now, thank you very much, Peter, for your thoughts and explanations, and we will see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.